Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So in today's YouTube video, it is going to be a level cap build guide for Ash or Ash Prime. So without further ado guys, let's get right on into today's video. So first of all, you are going to need to subsume a Warframe, and that Warframe you are going to subsume is going to be Zaku. So we are going to subsume Zata's Whisper over Ash's third ability. That is just because his third ability, which is the teleport, is not going to be specifically useful whilst running a level cap, so that is the ability I have chosen to replace. Now you can replace any ability, but I just do not recommend replacing the first or the second, which are going to be the important abilities. I do like to use the Blade Storm because that does technically do infinite damage, but it is a little bit 50-50, but I do recommend replacing the third ability. So with that out of the way, let's get right on into the config we're going to run on Ash. So people, for the config, you're going to want to run something along these sort of lines. So for the aura mod, first of all, we are going to be going with a rifle amp. So rifle amp is just going to increase the damage of your assault rifle. Now people would be asking me why am I not going for brief respite, but this is just the way that I play Ash. You could use brief respite, but it is completely up to you. Now for the first mod, we are going to throw on some duration for Ash, because this build is going to be primarily duration based and energy based. So on top of that, we are also going to throw in prime flow. So currently we've got 155 duration and 427 energy. Now the next mod we are going to throw on is going to be augment mods for Ash. So we're going to throw on Seeking Shuriken, which is basically going to be used for armor stripping the enemies, just so that you can keep it kicking, and basically use that in order to just keep killing the enemies going further up into the levels. Now the next mod we are going to throw on is basically infinite energy, which is equilibrium. So whenever you get a health or an energy drop, you're going to get health and you're also going to get energy, vice versa. It is a very good mod to have just in general. Now the next mod is going to be the life saving mod, which is going to be rolling guard. Rolling guard is essential towards saving your life, and just whenever you're in a sticky situation, it will help you out. To throw on next, we're going to add on narrow-minded. Now, Ash does not need range unless you are planning on spamming the Blade Storm, which you should not be doing if you are trying to hit a level cap with Ash, but just using it with the little range that it does have is honestly good enough. Now, as you guys can see here, we've got a lot of duration, which is primarily for the Zata's Whisper. Now, we've still only got 100% strength, so we are going to punch up our strength with Umbral Intensify. So, 144 strength currently is okay, but the only other mod that we're going to throw on here is going to be Streamline. And then for the aura mod, we are going to throw on where is it? Power Drift. There you go. So 159% strength and 130 efficiency. And for the arcanes, we are going to throw on Arcane Energize, which is completely up to you, and Malt Efficiency. Now, if you do not want to run Energize because of the equilibrium anyways, I would definitely recommend switching this out with Arcane Rage, just for extra damage on your primary weapon, which is going to be your secondary source, or depending on the way you're going to play, your primary source of armor strip. So guys, that is the config we are going to be using on Ash. So I'm going to show you what primary weapon and secondary weapon I'm going to be using with this, just to drill the point in a little bit further. So for the primary weapon, we are going to be using the Latron Wraith. The incarnate path I've taken for this is going to be direct damage per status type, minus recoil, and remove 20% of enemy armor per puncture status. Now, the config we're going to go on this is going to be just raw dog damage. This is the other config I'm going to use. This is the one I do recommend for the Cascade, level cap, or just that in general. Now, not everyone's going to have a Riven, which is perfectly fine. If you don't, replace it with Hammer Shot, and you get an even more nutty critical multiplier. And just in general, as you can see here, we've got 58 puncture, which is definitely ideal. Now, the mods we're running on here is a Vital Sense for crit damage, Hunt Ammunition for slash, Prime Fast Hands, just because I like to transform Incarnate fast. If you do not want to have that, you can have a mod which adds on more puncture, something along the lines of Shred, for example, which is definitely going to make your weapon armor strip faster. Prime Firestorm, because I like to run Latron with AoE, Galvanized Chamber for more multi-shot, Critical Delay for crit chance, and Vile Acceleration for fire rate, along with the Hammer Shot, with Vigilante Supplies for extra damage for the crits, and Primary Deadhead, obviously for the multiplier, and just to build Incarnate even faster. Now, this is the config I used on the Latron in this gameplay, or I'm going to use on the Latron in this gameplay. So that is what I do recommend running on the Latron. My secondary weapon is going to be the Dual Toxicist. So the Dual Toxicist is running with Carnage Rain for more damage per status, minus recoil, and increased crit chance by 20%. Now the config on this is going to be something like this. Prime Target Cracker for critical damage, Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot, Galvanized Shot for extra damage per status type, Lethal Torrent for multi-shot fire rate, Convulsion just so the electricity will chain and spread the status to the other enemies, Gunslinger for fire rate and Anemic Agility for fire rate, along with Reflex Draw to decrease the recoil and decrease the spread so we aren't spraying everywhere, along with Secondary Encumber, which is the primary catalyst of this config. Now I do have a Riven mod, which is multi-shot, CC and CD minus fire rate, so that is why I've got a significant amount of fire rate mods to compensate. If you don't have something like this, which is perfectly okay, I'd recommend replacing with either Auger Damage or maybe Creeping Bullseye for extra crit chance and just making this hit nothing but crits. And with Secondary Encumber, this is primarily going to be the weapon I'm using. Alternatively, if you were to push this on the config on your Ash, instead of Arcane Range, you can run Arcane Velocity for extra fire rate, or sorry, for extra fire rate on your secondary weapon if that is what you are primarily going to be using. So, with that out of the way, let's run into a cascade and let me show you what this Ash is capable of. Okay, so people, we are now at level cap with Ash. As you can see here, I am actually using the Bladestorm, but the way you are going to want to play Ash is simply stay invisible, so always have your 2 active. Again, to match with that, always keep your 3 the Zata's Whisper active for extra damage on your weapon. And then whenever it comes to an enemy that you want to take care of, you are going to use the 1, spray the 1 at them until they are armor stripped, and then just destroy them with the Latron. As you can see right now, I am using the Dual Toxicist, and it is absolutely just shredding everything, as you guys can see. I do honestly love the Dual Toxicist. It has to be my favorite secondary in the game as of right now. But the Latron is also there for further armor strips. So if you don't want to use your first ability for the Shuriken, you are going to use the Latron instead. Now, I have also paired this up with the Madrai Focus Tree, just so that whenever we do sling, we get a little bit of extra strength, so that we can get a little bit more of a kick out of Zata's Whisper. Now, this is simply the best way to play Ash. God, that's a lot of Thraxplasm. But yeah, so this is one of the best ways to play Ash in my opinion. Just generally, the Zata's Whisper does not work well with the Dual Toxicist, so that's something I would definitely replace doing this again. However, you can see that I don't have any problems playing around. Right now I'm just running around, but even still, at level cap, it is very important because, you know, a single bullet can kill you. But having the rolling guard there to save your life is very ideal. And as you can see, the way I'm playing Ash is whenever I see some enemies that I just want to kill off real quick, just hit them with a Bladestorm and then just let it go. And then I carry on running like this. If there's any enemies that I do actually need to take care of, I'm just using the Dual Toxicist. As you can see, the fire rate is a little bit slow. That's why I've got all the fire rate mods on it. But just in general, having high fire rate on the Dual Toxicist is better just for shredding purposes. Now, you can see the Latron taking care of these enemies. The Ash is a very solid frame to do level cap with. Definitely one of my personal favorites. But I am also going to have another video coming out on a few other frames for level cap, so do stay tuned for that. Just in general, this is the config I would use for Ash, so this is just my way of playing it. If your guys' way of playing it any different, please do let me know in the comments. But as you guys can see, this is my way of playing Ash for a level cap, and given that I'm not dying every 2 seconds, I think it's pretty effective. So that is basically it. Anything else that I would change, I will pin in a comment, but this is it for the most part. So guys, that has been this video, and I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing, and I do have links for my Discord server, Patreon, and a link for you guys to donate if that's what you want to do. So please do check out my Discord server, and we will welcome you with open arms. Good active community in there, so you know, feel free to join. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!